We live in a time when innovation and creativity are the path to autonomy, success, and unlimited potential. But our education system is trapped in the industrial age. We are still being fed the story that job security equals freedom. For many of us, that just isn't good enough. Every week, I'm bringing you the stories and experiences of entrepreneurs who don't accept the narrative that there is only one path to success. Their entrepreneurial journey is allowing them the freedom to prioritize both their businesses and their families. They are intentionally building a legacy to lead their family into a new era of innovation and growth. This is Our Modern Heritage Legacy Secrets, and I'm your host, Jody Chafee. All right, I'm so excited to welcome to this show, Julie Moe. She is the founder and CEO of Zooby Media and the Gutsy Mama Project, where she teaches moms how to ditch the 9-to-5s and their mommy guilt by learning how to build Squarespace Design businesses of their own. She started her company, Zooby Media, in 2015 when she looked around and the company she wanted to work for didn't exist. But she had no idea how difficult it would be to start her own business, which I totally understand. She bought into the idea of the hustle. She worked hard and not smart. Interesting. Then in 2017, she had her, had my baby, the hustle when her baby, the hustle couldn't work out. 60-hour weeks didn't work anymore. I hear that. Mm-hmm. She tried to be a stay-at-home mom because it was her only other option, but that didn't work either. I hear that also. Okay. And she didn't realize how much her personal identity was wrapped up in her career. So she felt like a failure because she couldn't hack entrepreneur or stay-at-home mom. And so I want to talk to you. I'm so excited, Julie, to have you on the podcast to talk about what you have learned through your experience and why you started your business. And so welcome to Our Modern Heritage Legacy Secrets.
Jody, thank you so much for having me. I'm so very, very happy to be here.
So awesome. So this is exciting. So to hear your story and how you were like, wow, how do I do this entrepreneur thing? How do I do this stay-at-home mom thing? I don't want to do this career thing. I hate doing that 9-to-5 thing, right? So that's inspiring to me because I'm like, I hear that. I hear it. That's my story too. And then this mom guilt of going, well, I love my children, but I just feel like I have more that I want to accomplish than just
absolutely
stay-at-home mom thing. So tell us more about that. Like when did you know you needed, like, starting a business was like the thing?
I was working for a company and I had been working for them for about 5 years, and I liked my job well enough. And one day I was just finished a performance review and had a great performance review. And my boss at the time to me said, he goes, Julie, you know what I like about you? He said, what I like about you is that I know you always give it to me straight. You're always going to tell me the truth about what you're really thinking. I was like, well, it's funny you should say that because I want to talk to you about where I'm going in this company, because I'm not going to kill myself to claw my way up to the middle.
Yeah, right.
And because I think for some of us, it can kind of feel like that. You get stuck in sort of middle management. And he said, I could tell he was a little bit taken aback when I said that. And so when he responded, he said what at the time sounded like really, really harsh. He said, the best thing I can tell you is that you'll never go anywhere in this company. Ouch. And he said, I think what he said was, you'll never move up in this company. And it wasn't because I wasn't doing a good job. It wasn't because I wasn't adequate or capable. It was because there just wasn't any place for me to grow in that company. Right. So when you hear that, what are you going to do? You can't stay in that company. You have to move on. Right. And so I started going on interviews and networking and, sending out resumes, and I actually got offered a few jobs. But then what I realized is the company that I wanted to work for didn't exist yet.
Yeah.
The company that had the things that I wanted didn't exist yet. The company that had offered creative freedom and location freedom and time freedom and all of these things, it didn't exist yet. So I realized that's when I had to start my own company. That's when I had to do something for myself.
Wow. You're like, I'm just going to create this thing that is everything that I want to embody in a career.
Yeah.
I mean, that was kind of harsh. I mean, what he said was just the reality of like most people working in corporate America is
Absolutely.
you're not going to get the things that you dream of, because there's only so much opportunity within
Yeah.
the companies.
And not only that, like I find most people don't realize is that why are you going to work so hard for someone else who would replace you in 2 weeks?
Right.
Why not work that hard for yourself?
Wow.
So that's kind of when I made that decision. I mean, granted, I made a lot of mistakes in my road to entrepreneurship, but that's kind of how
What
my
mistakes? Yeah.
entrepreneurship started.
Yeah.
He gave me that kick in the pants that I needed. And I'm so grateful to him for doing it. Like I said, it sounded really harsh at the time. It was definitely a bit of a gut punch at the time, but I'm so grateful for that call and for that moment. And I'm grateful that, as scary as it was, I had just in that moment the guts to say, I am going to stand up for what I want and for what I need.
That's so awesome. And I
Yeah.
want to go into, in the second portion of this interview, talk about the obstacles that you endured from starting your business, those things that you endured. But right now I want to know, like, because you said you were a stay-at-home mom, and it's like trying to do, now you're going from parenthood and or even working mom to now being a stay-at-home mom plus a business owner. How did that, what was your thought process of digesting all of that?
That was a hard one because, like I said, I kind of bought into the idea when I first started my company. I kind of bought into the idea of the hashtag hustle, like the 24/7, 60-hour work week, meeting with everyone, networking constantly, hustle, hustle, hustle. And at the time, I built the company up and I brought in a couple of staff members, and I had to keep them busy. So I was taking all the work I could get. I wasn't being careful with my clients. When I found out I was pregnant, like, I was so scared that some of my clients were going to drop me or that they would think that my work would suffer. So I didn't even tell most people that I was pregnant. I didn't post any photos on social media. I didn't have those awesome, nice moments where you post your sonogram on social media and everyone's like, I didn't post my maternity photos because I was so scared that some of my clients would think my work would suffer after I had a baby. I mean, real talk, I was emailing while I was in labor. I had an epidural, so I could, but
Right.
but I was emailing clients while I was in labor. And because I was my own company and because I hadn't set it up in a way that would allow me to take some time with my baby, I was back to work, back at my desk 6 days postpartum. I had my daughter on a Tuesday and I was back to work on Monday.
Wow.
Back making decisions on Monday. I had staff members who were picking up some things. And then one day, like the mommy guilt, when I can tell you when my mommy guilt hit me really hard. I was leaving a meeting with clients I didn't really like and who were just generally jerks. But I was leaving a meeting and my mom at the time was in town and she was helping me with Roxy. She's maybe like 4 months old, 5 months old. And she sent me a video of Roxy rolling over for the first time and I had missed it. And then I really realized, like, what did I miss it for? And I remember like that tight chested feeling of guilt. Like I had missed something big, like a real first, and I was never going to be able to get it back. And I remember calling my husband from my hot, steaming car. I hadn't even turned the car on and I was miserable and crying. And we had to make a decision. Like we had to make a choice. And I'm fortunate that, I got to be able to say, okay, full stop. I'm going to be home with my daughter. And I'm fortunate that my husband was like, okay, we'll figure it out. We'll make it work. And it was great because I thought at the time that those were my options, like full-time hustle mom or stay-at-home mom. I really thought that those were my only options. And I feel like a lot of moms still believe that those are their only options.
Wow.
And it took a while for me to realize and pivot that those aren't my only options.
I was going to say, what is the third option here? Because I think that you're exactly right. Most people that, present their questions, they come to me, they're just like, how do I do everything? How do I balance my time better? How do I get, time with my kids and building my business? And it's like, there's a real struggle here to figure out how to have that balance. So what was your solution?
My solution was getting laser focused on what I want to do. I was fortunate. I sort of lucked into what I wanted to do after I'd been home for a while. Now, if you've ever been a stay-at-home mom, you can kind of realize that your days kind of start to blend into each other. Like staying at home with an under one year old baby, your days kind of start to blend into each other and get same and same and same and same. And then like started to get really sad, and I started to feel guilty for not being able to be happy that I was being home with my kid, when I know that so many moms wish that they could be home with their kid. And so I felt guilty because I didn't, like I said at the beginning, I didn't realize how much of my identity was wrapped up in me being in my job. Like if I wasn't Julie Mo, boss CEO, who was I? So I wanted to be more than just Roxy's mom and Jeff's wife. And there were whole groups of people who only knew me now as just Roxy's mom. And so I was fortunate in one day, I got a call from a friend of a friend who said, hey, Mike told me you do something with websites or something, because that's what Zooby Media, my company, we were a full marketing company. And I was like, yeah, I didn't say, hey, I've shuttered the company. I'm just breastfeeding at the moment. But he said, hey, I've got a couple of clients. They want some websites done. And we like the look of these Squarespace websites. Can you build me a couple of Squarespace websites? I was like, yes, absolutely. Because not only did I want the money, because I had been working since I was 18, and all of a sudden not having my own money coming in was super weird. Yeah, right. But I also wanted the challenge. Like my brain just needed the challenge of doing something new. I'd never built a full Squarespace website before, but I was like, yeah, I can do this. I can make this happen. And so that's how I started building websites, and started getting like laser focused on what I did. And for me, the change came when I started saying no to the things that I didn't want to do. Before I was like, oh yeah, you need that. Oh, I can do that. Before, oh, you need that. I can do that too. Like, and just piecemealing work together. When I started getting laser focused on what I wanted to do and who I wanted to work with, the change happened. The switch happened. The clients who I wanted to work with started coming and referring and coming and more and more. And getting laser focused on what you want to do and who you want to serve. Like, I want to build Squarespace websites. And most of my clients right now are in and around the music business, because I come from the music business. So most of my clients are in and around the music business. And when I got laser focused on that, everything else started falling into place. And then everything that's kind of outside of that is just gravy.
Wow. So that's like this idea, like riches are in the niches, right? Like
Absolutely.
to really, narrow down on exactly what you want to do and who you want to serve.
Yeah.
And so before, were you doing like all the marketing agency like responsibilities? And
I was trying to be this full all inclusive like marketing agency and social advertising and ads, and like I would take any business that came my way. And it didn't serve me, because then I'd have to like do that slowly, whereas I can build a Squarespace website quickly.
Yeah. So now people outsource to you and say, hey, I know Julie makes really great websites. Let's reach out to her and
absolutely
do that aspect of the building out this, building
the
out
brand,
delivering the product. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Wow. So how has that impacted your relationship with, your daughter and your husband? Like when you knew and you started getting laser focused and started feeling like satisfied in your work, how did that impact your family?
It just made everything better. Like it made me a happier person and a better mom. And I think my husband certainly is not the type to be like, I'm making all the money, I make all the decisions. He's definitely not that type of husband. I don't think we would be together if he were that type of husband. But, in your own mind, at least for me, there was an imbalance in those kinds of things. And it's changed that balance. So like I'm bringing the money in also and paying my bills and doing my fair share. And so there's that balance for me that's there. And I think that's definitely impacted it. And like I said, just making me a happier and more fulfilled person. And as my daughter gets older, I hope she'll see me being a happy and fulfilled human being, not just in my family, but outside of my family and out in the world. And I hope that's going to make a real impact on her life.
Yeah, I can definitely, I think that that's so important that moms model for their children what it looks like to be a happy grown up or happy parent.
Absolutely.
It's like, I think that if we're just, being a stay-at-home mom is wonderful. And when there are a lot of women I know that feel called to do that and to put all their energy into their children. And if that is their way of modeling what happy, successful mother parent looks like, then more power to them.
Absolutely.
I think that whatever it is that we feel called to do, we model that, and it brings that sense of fulfillment and joy and accomplishment, like you said, and purpose to our lives, that, when we model that for our kids, it allows them to see, wow, now I want to figure out what my calling is, or what my purpose, or, whatever it is, because I see my parents thriving and being happy and successful. So I think that's awesome that you've been able to figure that out for you, and that you're able to model that for your family and bring that home. I just think that when we feel happy and fulfilled, it encompasses everything in our lives.
Yeah. And I hope it teaches my daughter too. One of the things I hope it teaches her is that to push boundaries a little bit. That it's not just black and white. You don't usually there are always multiple options. And I hope it teaches her that she can push those boundaries a little bit.
Nice. So that leads me to the final question for this section that I like to ask my guests is, as you're going through this, building a business and being a parent and having a family, like, what is the legacy that you are building and that you want to leave with your family?
I think the legacy I want to leave with Roxanne, my daughter, is that I care. And I want to show her that I care, not just about her and our family, but about things outside of my family. I want to show her a mother who gets involved, whether it's in politics or in charity work or in volunteering. I want to show her a mother that cares for people who don't necessarily have the advantages that we have, or that need help at the beginning. So I think care is the key that I want to share and show Roxy, that when she's growing up, that translates into her life, into every aspect of her life.
That's awesome. Thank you so much, Julie. I really love that response. It's so perfect. So thank you.
Thank you.
I just love it. That, something that I've been learning a lot about lately is being, raising our kids to be producers. And I think that, allowing them to see that things are important, right? That to care about issues, to care about people and our community and all the things that get them excited is so crucial to developing and raising young producers. So I love that.
Absolutely.
Thank you. So where can my audience find you before we conclude this first section?
You can find me online. The Gutsy Mama Project is located at thegutsymamaproject.com, or you can find me on Facebook at facebook.com/thegutsymama, or I'm sorry, facebook.com/gutsymama.
Nice. Awesome. Thank you so much, Julie. That's awesome. Thank you so much for listening. But I have to tell you that this is just the beginning. There is more to this episode inside of my Facebook group. I hope that you'll go and request to join that community because it's awesome. There's more podcast content that's exclusive to the group. There's also giveaways, live Q&As, and you can come and ask questions and take part in this awesome community. So please come and request to join at facebook.com/groups/familyculture-strategies. You can also find my page on Facebook at facebook.com/familyculturepodcast. And I'm at Instagram in the same handle, Family Culture Podcast. So I hope you'll come and follow me there and join in this movement to create an intentional family culture around being entrepreneurial and integrating and prioritizing your family as you grow your business. So come and join me there. I hope to see you there. You can also come find my website at ourmodernheritage.com. Thank you so much. And remember that if you want to change the world, go home and love your family.